Next, we're joined by our market intelligence gurus, Wargo and Peter Hansen, as we take a look at the latest data and trends in our industry. Sean, Peter, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Always great to be here.
So you've survived the famous day 2 of ISE, traditionally the busiest one. How's it been?
It's been great. Lots of great technology to see here on the trade show floor. I think what we were most interested to kind of look at is AI. And actually, I'm surprised at how little there really has been on the floor, even though it's a hot topic as we listen to conversations.
Yeah, for sure. Peter, how about you? How's it been for you today?
As a researcher, you live with a lot of data and you read a lot of perspectives on trends, and it's just so exciting to see it live, in person, what's going on. And just one more piece, it's how vibrant it is, how much new technology is. You can really see how we've kind of moved past the pandemic, number one, and then moved out of supply chains, number two, and are in this kind of like true AV coming back era.
Absolutely. So, I mean, speaking about coming out of the pandemic, I know during that time the whole experience economy was completely put on hold. People couldn't go out and do stuff. What stage of the recovery process are we at in terms of the experience economy at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's the area we're certainly seeing the most growth. Over the last few years, it really was about adaptation to remote, hybrid, all that sort of stuff. So clearly, today, certainly conference and collaboration are our largest solution area as an industry, but where there is the most meaningful growth now and over the next 5 years is really in experience economy. So live events, fixed install performance entertainment, the media and entertainment industries, those kind of spaces is really where we're seeing the energy. You can see it as you walk through the show floor as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky that we're here, an absolutely buzzing show. As we said, we went round to have a look at some of our favorite things of the show earlier, and I mean, we could barely get a camera set up without somebody walking through the shot. Good problem to have.
So we were talking a little bit about the supply chain. So help enlighten me. So where are we with that? Are we still, having some challenges and difficulties there, or are we able to get our products out quickly? So where do we stand in terms of the supply chain issues?
Things aren't perfect yet. There's still a little bit of hangover, but we have a data set dating back to kind of late summer of 2022, and that shows the top issue for AV providers each month. In that start, it was like half of respondents saying supply chains are our biggest issue. It kind of is steady that like September, October, November 22, and then it comes cascading down. And about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, it stopped being the number one, and now it's like very middle of the pack alongside issues like recession, business cycle, hiring, retention, and actually the second highest response for that in the most recent month was no significant issues, which is like, wow. Hey, that's exciting, and that's higher than supply chain. So yeah, there are lingering issues. It's definitely a little bit of a bugaboo for maybe some certain brands, certain product types, but it's a lot better.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, that's amazing news. I mean, I remember the point at which, during the pandemic, I was lucky enough to participate in some kind of virtual kind of hybrid events where we'd be in a COVID-safe TV studio, a bit like this, and
project that they were going to be taking on. They were waiting for that final component. As we're hearing, the supply chain issues there are mitigating enough. They're starting to get those core components, but that's created an effect where they may not be buying some other stuff that they were in the past. So you've got this unevenness now in the marketplace where some categories doing really well, there's robust shipments, there's robust sales, and other it's been a little bit more, it's slowed down as kind of everything catches up to itself.
Yeah.
At this point, the integrator installer is really more the bottleneck of sorts because they've been waiting for a component. that's now freeing up. So they're busy, they're fulfilling demand, but they've been waiting for that key product. So that's starting to help. We expect as we go into this year, now that we're in 2024, that starts to even out the result, and we have much more level set around growth for the industry.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we couldn't possibly, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but we couldn't possibly talk about trends and have a conversation on that without mentioning AI, the word that's on everyone's lips. The two of you have been at the show for a couple of days now. You've been listening to conversations, watching presentations. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been seeing, what you've been hearing on that subject?
Yeah, that was the topic for our global partner meeting this morning. The folks who are really some of the most data savvy companies at this show, what they requested. They wanted to know about AI and how it's impacting our industry, how companies can confront it. And a couple of takeaways. One is that AI is just the technology, and that's the tip of the iceberg. So much is what you build on it. I mean, the way you take it into your processes, the skills that you use to take advantage of it, to leverage it, and other technologies that are built on top of it. Then another piece that I will say is our most recent quarterly report, which was from late last year, was on the topic of AI and AV, and that has really a lot of industry-specific data on it. Just one piece that I will say is on where those our kind of survey respondents there, our insights community, identified as the biggest benefits to AV company. 31%, I think, if I got the number exactly right off my head, said that it would be, the primary benefit would be workers doing their work more effectively, and then just a little bit less, but another huge percent said it would be cutting costs because workers are doing things faster.
Yeah.
And to compare that to, and I know I have this numbers right, just 2% that said that it's going to be replacing workers. So it's super clear to our industry that AI is about making a better AV worker, not replacing an AV worker. So I think that's just one of the several important insights in that report.
Yeah, I'd say it's certainly very early days for AI. As I kind of reflect back on my previous comment, as you walk through the show floor, it's just starting to be part of the fabric of say, product offering, feature set, that sort of thing. I think that reflects, we're a very pragmatic industry. We wait for technology to be reliable, to have clear use case, to have clear support from vendor all the way through the channel, so that when we bring that technology into integration projects, we know that it's going to be cost effective, it's going to do the job that we need. Yeah. So I think our industry is good at kind of sniffing out, what's too cutting edge, what is not quite ready for them to truly integrate into their project work. So it's early stage. We've referred to it as kind of hype cycle a little bit. Everybody's talking about it. But it's an exciting part of kind of what is future, what's possible, and that's the type of thing we're starting to see.
Yeah, and great to hear that people are finally starting to embrace it and be less afraid of it in terms of it stealing our jobs and stuff like that. So that's great news.
And so bringing something back a little bit more to traditional, let's say, workforce, if you will, what data do we have in terms of like the corporate office market? How are things going now? I know, a lot of people are hybrid, remote, but now I think we're seeing a lot more companies wanting their employees to really come back into the workforce.
Yeah, we've been referring to it as kind of an experimentation phase. So there was a lot of investment. So corporate conference and collaboration, that was one of the few areas during the pandemic that actually grew each year in a period when you had massive decline across the market. So that's a strong story. What that meant, though, is that companies were investing to adapt. They made, say, experimental kind of contributions to that area. They're now sort of assessing where they are. There was threats of recession. They thought maybe we would have a pullback in consumer. So they were a little bit planning for that potential decline. So I think conference and collaboration, you could say it's taking a bit of a breather. It's not going away, it's not declining, but the growth rate that we had seen is certainly coming down to less than average kind of level at this point, which is why, return to previous comment, much more opportunity in, say, experiential, live events, performance entertainment. While I think conference and collaboration starts to pick back up, companies reevaluate where they were. They get more feel for what is a standard guideline kind of recommended approach, and they start building that out. That's kind of where we see over this year into next year things perhaps recovering and increasing again. Yeah.
And one quick note about that, our next report coming out, it's not even finished being written yet, but probably coming out at the end of February roughly, is on the corporate office marketing, conferencing, and collaboration, really trying to help our industry measure and understand what norms are starting to develop, what best practices are out there. Now that we're a little bit removed from the pandemic, a couple years into hybrid working, what can we say so far? Nothing too certain, but something hopefully really useful to the channel.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they say time flies when you're having fun, and it certainly has here. We're all out of it. If people want to find out a little bit more or see some of the reports, where can they find those?
So come to AVIXA.org, to our market intelligence pages. A lot of great information there. Certainly can reach out to us at Wargo@AVIXA.org for more information or questions.
Great job. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.